Well, you clicked on the video. This is my review and final thoughts of the 9115 RC Monster Truck by... I honestly don't know anymore. It says Hezimo on the Amazon buy link. It says GP Toys on the bottom. I don't know who this is made by, honestly. You can find it on Amazon. It's reasonably priced. Alright. First I'm going to go over what I like and what I don't like. So, first thing I like, its price. It is a very affordable hobby grade RC car. At $80, you get a charger, the RC car, a controller, and that's it. You get a battery, a charger, a truck, controller. Everything you need to get started. Another thing I like is how you can buy this on Amazon and how all the parts are there as well. Well, I also like that none of the parts on this truck are incredibly expensive. An entire transmission gear set for this was $8 on Amazon, and it was at my house within 2 days. Another thing I like is the way this shell looks. This is really my opinion and has nothing on the review, but I like the way the shell looks. It looks like it's been inspired by a Ford Raptor or some other truck of that nature. But at the same time, that leads me to something I don't like about the shell. What I don't like about the shell is how the tire, look at how the rear tire lines up with the shell. I mean, that is, the front tire, it's not pronounced because the tire's smaller, because I put on different tires because one of the fronts was crooked, because this isn't my RC car. This is something my friend let me borrow. He said he stripped something and he didn't know how to fix it, and he asked me to fix it. And so I fixed it, and I also found one of his wheels was crooked. So I put on my Magnet 1/16 scale wheels. They're the Forgotten Truck Lies. And so it would go straight and I wouldn't hurt anything. That leads me to another thing I like, and at the same time, something I like about this truck is that most of the screws are the same size. Obviously, some screws have to be bigger than others. But the fact that I was able to take apart the entire rear end of this thing and only ran into four different lengths of screws, and 2 were the same length, just some of them were countersunk screws and some of them weren't. This truck is fairly simple. It's not a complicated truck by any means, and because of its simplicity, it's not very upgradable as far as parts. It has a very unique servo. As a matter of fact, it will be opened up through the magic of editing. It is open. As you're probably seeing, this is a motor connected to a bunch of gears. It's a unique servo, and it's not just a unique servo, it is a servo that is non-upgradable without some custom fabrication. Getting a replacement servo like this is very easy, and the servo is not bad. It could be better, but it is not bad. So I don't have complaints with the servo as far as me personally, but I know there's a lot of people out there who would steer away from this vehicle simply because of the difficulty of upgrading the electronics. That aside, I looked at this truck as a ready to run, and I did an upgrade to the differential. So that was disheartening. The entire transmission assembly had very little grease in it. Very little at all. And the differential had no grease in it whatsoever. It was bone dry. Also, the differential didn't really work that well until I custom upgraded it. There will be a link in the video at the end, so you can see that video. It was fairly simple, and it's not hard to do, but the fact is you still have to do it. You still have to do it to this truck if you want it to handle better. As far as what is upgradable, the tires, it has a 12mm hex, so there's a lot of tire options out there. And shocks, very simple to upgrade. I actually have these oil-filled shocks hooks on it right now. I point to things with my middle finger. Deal with it. And another thing that I don't like is the rear motor. The motor, can't quite see it, but I don't feel like taking apart the entire transmission assembly. The motor, the gear is crimped onto the motor. So if you wanted to get a better motor, you can't just take this gear off. You'd have to find a gear that correctly mesh with the gears inside the transmission. And due to everything else's unique design, I don't know if these are unique gears. A lot of people, there's a guy called Make It RC. He has a really neat channel, you should check him out. He's done custom fabrication, and you could maybe 3D print a gear, but I don't know how well that would hold up. But as far as the motor itself, I have no complaints about this motor. It has plenty of power and plenty of get up and go for this vehicle. Now, something that I don't like is the controller. I get it. It's an inexpensive RC car, and this controller is inexpensively built. Very inexpensively built. It takes 2 AA batteries. It gets the job done. It's nothing fancy. I'm spoiled. I'm used to using nice big controllers, and I used the controller for midgets, and it just felt weird. As for the truck itself, it has upgradability. I've got oil-filled shocks on it right now, and I've got 2 separate sets of tires. And there's also suspension adjustability, as there's 3 suspension holes. Also, you can adjust the height of the body, and that makes it easier for you to put on a different Lexan body. So there's good things. There's some good things too. The battery is a 800 milliamp 9.6 volt lithium battery pack. It has about 10 minutes of charge for this vehicle. But you're gonna have to order more batteries on Amazon if you want to continue using this plug. If I would have owned this RC car, the first thing I would have done to it is change the plug to a Dean's connection or something else, because this plug, this battery It's supposedly supposed to fit in here, and you plug it in, and you can barely fit this jam door over it. It's a little annoying. I think they could have easily used a different plug, but I don't know, maybe they used this one just to be difficult. It's people in the land of China, so you know, you don't know what's going through their heads. Anyway, as far as this truck goes as an RC truck, it is a basher. It's not going to be doing any competitive racing. And even as a basher, if you're wanting to race around with your friends, you can have a lot of fun with this truck. You can jump it. It's durable. I've had a few tumbles with it, but I haven't got any footage of it because it is in 15 degrees or lower. The warmest it's been this week is 18 whopping degrees. So I haven't found a friend or a sibling that's willing to stand out in the frigid cold air to film the truck running. So I don't know if there's going to be run footage of this truck on my channel before I give it back to my friend. I'll try and get some up, but I don't really even want to stand out in that cold of weather to film this truck. I need a tripod, but even then, it's really cold outside. As far as the truck as a product goes, I see this as a very good beginner RC. It's inexpensive. You can repair parts on it. You can upgrade certain parts on it. It's a cheap way to figure out if you want to get into the hobby or if you don't. The market for this truck is beginners. This is also a truck if you're like me and you have awesome RC cars and everybody else wants to play with them, but you don't want them and you don't want to let them use your nice ones, you can buy one of these, or maybe two of these, because they are only $80, and when people come over, you can let them use these. Obviously change the connector. This connector you will not find anywhere in any United States hobby shop that sells RC parts. That is from the land of China. So the tires that originally come on this, they have okay grip. Most of my RC cars have stock tires, so I don't know how to exactly gauge this from an upgraded tire. But this thing likes to power slide. Meaning, what I meant by the motor has plenty get up and go is that when I gun it, I have to counter steer and it takes off at an angle like that. The wheels spinning and throwing rocks at your feet. And it is fun. It's a fun RC car. It is a basher. That's what it's supposed to do. Every single part on this truck is repairable, and this same chassis is used in several of other of their products. They have the 9118 car that runs on this same chassis. It just has different tires, different suspension arms, and different suspension components. There's a Truggy that they've made with this chassis, and there's another monster truck that looks exactly like this one but is blue and is $90 instead of $80. I don't know what it has that this one doesn't. And they have a newer one that I haven't seen much of on YouTube. It's like this buggy truck thing. It's weird, but it looks pretty good. This truck, I like it, but I don't like its upgradability. I'm the kind of person who likes to upgrade things and this truck is not upgradable out of the box. You're going to have to custom fabricate a place for the servo to go, and if you want to put a better servo in here, you have to get a different ESC, a receiver, and a new controller, and doing that all at once can go up over triple digits out of your pocket. So well over $100 to do something like that. And when you're putting $100 into something that cost $80, I don't see the point. But tires and shocks are upgradable, and you can fix every part on this truck. Like I said earlier, I would recommend this to beginners. I'd recommend this to people who want something for their friends to use when they come over. As for seasoned hobbyists, I don't see where their interest in something like this would be. So I'm going to end the video. To sum it up, what I give this truck, from 1 to 10, I give it an 8. And that is it for this video. As always, this is Wiley Riley signing off.